Good afternoon. The City of Mount Juliet Board of Commission will be holding a workshop Monday, May 12th, 2025 from 5:15 to 6 p.m. to discuss this consideration for the budget for the purpose of a rec and aquatic center and related items. Public is invited to attend and comment. City of Mount Juliet welcomes everyone's comments. We thank you for being here tonight as well as online. If you have any questions, please, I believe the agendas are on the back corners. I don't know if they will be for this tonight, will they? If not, they will also be posted online. Okay, thank you. All right, with that, we will open it up to citizen comments for 3 minutes for each citizen, and we will open it up first. Is there any citizen comments or questions?
I'd like to step up.
Name and address, please, sir.
Chip Bailey, 140 Denny Drive, Mount Juliet, 37122.
Thank you, sir.
I know the new rec center pool / facility is up for consideration tonight. I just wanted to say that we've lived in Mount Juliet for 4 years and we love it. We don't ever want to leave, and we appreciate everything y'all have done to build this great city. But I think it's lacking a couple of little things. I don't think it's caught up with the growth that it's experienced. I grew up in a small Kansas farm town, 900 people, one community center gym. Mount Juliet has 43,000 people, one community center gym. So there's something wrong with that picture. And I know that we're a decade behind. We can't do anything about that, but we can start now. And I think the decisions we make now can help our citizens moving forward with a facility that can get them out of the heat into the water, can get them out of the heat into the air conditioning, can do Zumba and volleyball and pickleball and exercise classes and things like that to better the lives of the citizens. I think those are the things we should think deeply about tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other citizen comments? Name and address, sir, please.
Yes, Seth Zamek, 225 Citadel, Mount Juliet. Disclaimer, I guess I'm on the advisory group for the rec center that's been working with Rocky and Jennifer and the team. And so hats off to Rocky and Jennifer and Sam, especially for all the work he's done preliminarily to get this in front of you all. I just want to personally endorse the rec center, the concept. I think it's a great thing for our community, for the citizens here, to engage the citizens and for all of us to be able to live healthy lifestyles. I know it will come at a cost, but it will be, I think the return on investment will be significant. I'm thrilled with the what we're looking at right now, swimming capabilities as well as the gym that will afford us to do a bunch of things, especially pickleball. I'm from the pickleball community, and I love the design so far. We can easily get 6 courts, be able to play 6 games of pickleball at one time in this gymnasium, and that's super. The only other comment, Rocky, I've just seen this for the first time today, the proposed schedule. I'm sure it could be tweaked around, but the 8 a.m. start is probably not going to be early enough for a recreational center. If you go to Mundy Park right now, people in the summer, they're out there playing pickleball starting at 6:30 in the morning. And a lot of folks like to work out before they go to work, right? So that's something to consider. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any more citizen comments, concerns? All right. We will close citizen comments and we will move over. This is being sponsored by Commissioner Mullally and Vice Mayor Bill Trevette. I will hand the mic over to Commissioner Mullally.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for everyone being here tonight and for our panel. And so, as you know, last year we had 3 public meetings to get public input, and then we formed a committee, and then we had 3 committee meetings, and the committee did a great job of narrowing it down because it did start out bigger, but we had to be realistic, and we narrowed it down to what we can afford within the bond budget, which had a range of 11.1 to 14 million. And so I think we have done that, and you'll find out more as we go through the agenda. I agree with Chip that this should have been done 10 years ago, and we should now be talking about expansions. But unfortunately, whatever, it didn't happen. So here we are. And I think it's important that we start with this, and it will be up to future boards, because you never know who's on the board at any time. We have elections every 2 years. You don't know if the support would be there or not, but hopefully there would be support in the future to expand to phase 2 and 3, and and it could be built upon. The back side of the building, which I guess would be the west side, is expandable for south side for an outdoor pool and so forth. So you have the basic layout right there. I think that we have a good case, and our goal is to get the bond in this year's budget, the one coming up. And then if we get 3 votes to support that, to get it in the budget, I think what would happen is we would move forward with bids, and it would go out for bid, and then we can get exact numbers for the bond number. And so let's see, we'll just take it, and then Vice Mayor Trevette, he'll have some input too. There is high public demand for this. It's needed. The time to do it is now, because if a lot of people want us to wait and build something bigger, but that's very risky. In my opinion, the support may not even be there for future. If you put it off, it's going to be 10, 20 years down the road, if that. I think the time to do it, to start with this, is now. Let's see, all we have right now in our community center, our current one, it's way too small. Like, I have a large Indian constituency who loves badminton. The schedule for the community center is so tight, we can't even get that on the schedule. So this new gym, it would allow for 2, we'll talk about this further, but anyway, there would be room to get them on the schedule. So, of course, we're going to be talking about phase 1, which will be the gym and the pool. And then the future phases we'll be talking about too. The 14 acres that it sits on are paid for. Huge plus. The mass grading that's going on right now is coming out of Public Works budget, and they have not used all that. So Matt White is going to be talking about the funds that are left for that, how we can use that for this project. So I'm going to turn it back over to Vice Mayor for his input and comment, since he was a co-sponsor.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, and thanks for everybody coming out tonight. Obviously, this has been something that's been in my district, as well as everybody else's district. That's been a big communication part here. I do agree with some of the residents tonight. Like, what do we do as a commission? Do we get something started today, or do we go ahead and push this can, on down the road, just so that way that we wait until the next development comes, when, like, we can be able to afford something that's big and great and at Taj Mahal. But at the same time, it's a concern of mine, because, again, as we continue to grow, and also the fact that the cost of material just keeps going up. So every year that we put this long, just an extra year, that's an additional cost that we've got to be able to consider for those costs. And I know there's some residents have reached out to me when it's coming down to, the cost of this, how are we going to pay for it? I know those are all valid points. And at the same time, it's just the fact that our city is continuous to grow. And and there's a need there. There's a want, and I think the taxpayers are willing to understand where their money's going. And at the same time, I know there's been some other concerns out there that that we need to do something for our schools, and I agree that would be something that we could look at future to do in a phase where we can be able to bring in our high schools if that's an option. But today, it's more about getting our students, our kids, our community, our seniors, all of them into something that they can at least be proud of and say that this is the first phase of our city when it comes to an aquatic center or a rec center. So that's why I'm a big fan of this and excited about tonight's meeting. Along with, I know this is not going to be the only meeting, but this is definitely keeping the ball rolling for all of us. So with that, I will go ahead and either hand it back over before Commissioner Mullally, do you want to, before we start off with the agenda, is there any other commissioners that have any comments or concerns, or do we just go on down the list? Did anybody have anything that they want to add? Okay. Yep. Okay. All right, Commissioner, I'll go ahead and let you start off with the agenda and then hand it over to anyone that's here with the different departments or representative that wants to discuss any of the
Okay.
detail.
All right. And again, this bond that we hope to get in this upcoming budget comes from hotel motel tax. That's where it comes from, not the general fund. And the plan would be, as you'll see, is to pay back $1 million a year up to 20 years. The operations and maintenance comes out of the general fund parks budget, which Rocky will be talking about. So let's move on to, we pretty much covered number 1. So let's move on to number 2, which is the parking lot, as you see, and it's only around where the building is, not the other side, because that's future. So is Matt here? Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, so I'm going to bring up Matt White to talk about number 2.
All right. Matthew White, Public Works Director. As you know, we're mass grading the site right now. We currently have $3.5 million in the budget to do the mass grading. Bids came in last year significantly lower than that. We're only going to spend about $2 million of that. So we'll have about $1.5 million left over from that. And there's been discussion about using that money to fund the road extension and the parking lot. Today I did a really quick cost estimate of what I think the road and parking lot and everything will be. It's a rough estimate because there's been no design done at this point. And did you pass out the sheet?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're looking at a total with a 20% contingency of about $2.2 million to do the road and all the parking lot. And that includes, I assumed a number of storm drain and storm pipe to convey the storm water to the back to the pond. But that's what we're looking at as far as road and parking lot. Is there anything else you want to
All right. So the beginning, what you suggest is, because I had asked you about how to get into the parking lot. So you suggested, since East Hill Street will eventually continue all the way to Golden Bear, to start the road construction and have it come to the parking lot.
Correct.
And so that's what
So
he's
about-
talking about, the
So
road.
building about half of the road that's shown there, just
Right.
to the entrance to the parking lot.
Yeah.
And that's included, that was included in my cost estimate there, just half the road. But
All right. Any questions for?
Multitask and get some people asking questions over on the side here. So currently right now, and I apologize, I haven't been up there in a couple months, with all the changes. That back end of the actual, the back end of the lot where that steep incline is that going to be, has that already been starting to be refilled, or how's the land currently right now as it sits?
so we're putting in a pond in the back where the eventual future pond will go. The pond will likely have to be increased for what we're building now. But yeah, in the back of the property, there's a detention pond, but no stormwater design has been done for the proposed building or parking lot. So that'll have to be the pond most likely will have to be expanded a little bit bigger to handle that volume of water. But yeah, the site is being mass graded to about a 5% slope from front to back. So from west to east, about a 5% grade across the whole site.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are these estimates based on?
These are based on our current on-call contracts with our contractors, Vulcan, Grade A.
Have they been going up?
We could probably most likely bid this and not use it. I'm just going off their pricing because that's what we currently use today. But we could likely get a better cost if we bid this, especially the curb and gutter
Yeah,
cost
I
you
saw
see at the
that.
top.
That's
It's
pretty high.
extremely high. I can either renegotiate that with our contractors or we just bid it out to.
Yeah,
let-
no, that was the first thing that
Yeah,
jumped out was
it's-
that for.
Yeah, we don't do much curb and gutter, so I think they priced it for like little repairs here and there, and not like a full.
It's probably half that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely.
okay. So we're going to re-up this if we move forward. So we're just going to put a bid out and get actuals.
Yeah, I'll start discussions with them, and with the larger quantity, they will likely be able to lower the price on that one item. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna be ready to build the road and parking lot in the next budget year. I think we're talking about 2 budgets from now, so we've got time to.
Yeah, that's
Figure
what I think
that
my
out.
point was. If these numbers were fixed for the next 2 years, or if this is just some.
Our contract's
Directional.
on a yearly basis, so we at the end the contract will end June 30th of 2026,
Okay.
and so at that point I reach out and be like, "Are you willing to extend based on the current prices, or do we want to rebid our on-call contract?" So
Okay. Any other questions? Any other? No? All right. Okay. Thank you, Matt. All right, let's move on to number 3, Phase 1 building, the size and the contents. So we're going to turn it over to Sam Anderson with Anderson Architects. And we really appreciate his work on this, which is pro bono, by the way. All this work that's been put in is pro bono because our budget was 0. So I'll turn it over to him.
Sam Anderson, Anderson Architects, 48 West Caldwell Street, Mount Juliet, Tennessee. I've got Stephen Hall here with me. Stephen's responsible for quite a few of these drawings, most of them, in fact. So he's been very helpful. He's also got some children. How many kids in swim team?
One that swims for 3 different organizations year-round is 12, and 2 other kids from
So he's been a huge resource for us too. I used to swim. I wasn't very good, but anyway. But so he's very knowledgeable about how things run in the pool and kind of things like that. So we had some good help. If you look at the site plan there, you can see like there's a big gray rectangle there. I think that was the extent of the building when we first started. We had an Olympic-sized pool in there that stretched all the way to the edge of that gray area there. So the pool has been cut down substantially, and it is what it is right now. But that parking could all shift over to the left, perhaps. Rob Porter, I talked to him. He's the civil side, I think, or Rob Porter laid it out, and it could be obviously shifted to the left. And looking at it, it might be that the building, and I don't know why I didn't see this before, but it's possible that the building could actually rotate to kind of parallel Clemens Road, and that drop-off loop could kind of parallel the parking lot there. So there's stuff that we have to still look at on the layout of the building and everything. But I don't know if there's another slide or if you want me to go through all this. Okay, so do you want me to go through page by page? Okay, so this page here kind of shows you the map. The orange is the gymnasium space. 2 basketball courts, high school sized basketball courts running east-west, and then 6 pickleball courts running north-south, there'd be a net that could be put down the middle there, and that's for the volleyball, right, Chip? So the volleyball court, we'd have 2 volleyball courts, right? Okay. At one point, we had a whole diagram of all the different configurations there, but these are the 2. You know, volleyball would just fit where the basketball is, and you have 6 pickleball courts, and that's pretty much what you're going to be. And I don't know what badminton runs. Is it the same as a volleyball court?
I'm not sure.
Same as very close to the pickleball.
Okay, pickleball size. So a lot of different configurations would have to be set up with the netting. You know, that would be a netting kind of issue. The green part in the middle is kind of the core. And go back to the orange. The orange building's a pre-engineered metal building, and the roof slopes to the west. So it's a single slope roof. A lot of gutters on that west side there catching the rain. The middle part we're envisioning to be kind of like a concrete block core that could be semi-used as a safe shelter for a storm. You know, a lot of schools do that. It has the locker rooms. It's got the office. It's got an elevator. It's got the reception, kind of an airlock there. So there's no frills at all in that middle part there. It's very utilitarian. Go to the right, and the blue area, of course, is the pool. You've got 6 lanes, 75 yards east-west, and there's like a bulkhead similar to Jimmy Floyd. Those of you that's been out to Jimmy Floyd, there's a bulkhead separating the swimming lanes from that play area, which is a 0 entry space. I think it's about 40 feet wide there. So it goes from 0 down to 4 feet. And we're trying to accommodate water aerobics in the 4-foot. And I think we also have an idea that a majority of the swimming lanes will be 5 feet deep, because my understanding is some of the water aerobics are 4 foot deep, and then some of it requires deeper water for certain other kinds of acts. I don't do it, but you know. So there's a lot of things that have to be ironed out in the pool design, but we have been in contact with several pool companies to get some of the concepts ironed out. It will require a stainless steel rim around it, or gutter kind of system. And the little bump out on the bottom there to the southeast corner is basically a pool equipment room, chemical storage room. 2 handicap restrooms are down that end for like families not have to run all the way back into the locker room to change diapers or whatever they do there. So the orange tomato colored portion is the extension of the gymnasium. Just extend that building to the south and basically just double the size of it. We used to have some storage shown on that south wall of the gymnasium there, and that was kind of cut out due to budgetary. And I presume you could have like maybe some temporary storage or something, you know, if we needed storage, there might be a way to get that in there. And then the outdoor pool is, I think that's phase 3. So the gymnasium extension was going to be phase 2, and the pool, future outdoor pools, phase 3.
Well, the phase 2 is the outside courts. So phase 3 is the outdoor pool. The expansion of the gym is phase whatever
Okay.
in the long distance
Okay.
future.
So we have that wrong on our drawings.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next slide. Yeah. So this is just was helpful for us to kind of get a grasp on what people are talking about when they talk about these other facilities. Of course, the Longview one is in that's Sumner County, right? And
Williamson.
Oh, sorry, wrong direction. Yeah. And it's got a 6-lane pool there right in the middle. And then it's got kind of a family pool off to the right there. We could hold meets at our pool similar to the meets that they hold at Jimmy Floyd Center. So high school, right, Steve's high school and swim clubs. And so that's the comparison size. We're right there with Jimmy Floyd up above it. You can see that Jimmy Floyd's little family play area is not as big as ours. But they have an Olympic-sized swimming pool outside. So, you know, there's trade-offs. I don't think their basketball gymnasium is as large as ours either. So that was a comparison slide. Go to the next.
And our gym is modeled after Longview, basically,
Yes.
in Spring Hill.
Mm-hmm. That's just more detail. We show the pool square footage is 6,675 square feet of pool. We were showing some play elements on the zero entry thing there, like a little water mushroom. I don't know if there's slides and stuff in the middle there, how that exactly works. We'd have to work through that with a pool equipment company. Some of the estimates we got for those pool amenities, the zero entry, quite expensive. What, like 600 grand. So I think that was, I don't know exactly what they were pricing there. All right. Any questions on the floor plan there?
And then the green area is 2 floors.
Yeah. So this is the ground floor, and the pool roof slopes to the south. And then the green part in the middle is basically a flat roof. So we'll see more of that as we go through the drawings. Go to the next slide. So this is the upper level. It has a running track around the pickleball area there. Stairs going down, pretty much lead directly to the outside exits there. Then you've got the green in the middle, which is the classrooms, potential classrooms up there. We might have the mechanical room might be at the front there with some chases that are bumped out to the side where the pool is. And then you've got the elevator lobby. Excuse me. And an elevator machine room, but pretty bare bones. But a lot of stuff could be going on in there. You could have classes, yoga or whatever the other classes are. All right, next slide. Okay, it's just some elevations showing what the building might look like. In the middle, upper middle drawing, you see the basketball gymnasiums sloping to the right. In the middle is the flat part. And then to the left is the high part of the swimming building that's sloping away from you. Next slide. A couple interior renderings, just showing conceptually how we might do the HVAC. On that bottom section, you see the low part with the flat roof. That's where we would be hiding the mechanical equipment, and it would duct through the wall of the, that's the basketball gym, right, Steven? So duct into the basketball gym, go up and go alongside there and supply the air there. All right, next slide. Couple sections cut through the pool. That's showing the pool roof sloping to the right there in the middle drawing. Maybe some bleacher seating on the left side there. And then the lowest section drawing, you're cutting through the pool, looking towards the green core in the middle there. You don't see the HVAC units because they're hidden behind that little parapet wall there. And then you see the high basketball gymnasium wall beyond that with some potential, we had some windows in that. So that's facing east, right? So you would get some early morning sun coming in through those windows. And we have north facing windows as well. So you get, nice ambient light coming in through the north, but we don't have any like west facing windows or south facing windows in the gym to cause undue glare and strain. Next slide. More sections. The top section's cutting through the entry canopy. So we had covered drop off there that you could come in and drop people off out of the rain. You're seeing the running track going around. And then the bottom section is a building. What is that? It's cutting through the whole building lengthwise. All right. So next slide. A couple 3D drawings here. And I think Vice Mayor Trivett somebody mentioned a long time ago when we were talking about this, didn't like flat roofs. Was it you? Okay. So I took that into consideration, sir. But we'll make sure that we roof it correctly. Okay, it really made a lot of sense to us because you could set package units up there, very economical, duct it down through the roof, blow it out, and it just made a lot of sense to us. We get it off the ground. We don't have, thievery or, stuff going on.
More for long-term costs, so that's all we're looking at.
We got some good roofers in Mount Juliet. They'll take care of it. Okay, next slide. We're getting to the end here. Just a couple more views showing the future expansion of the basketball gymnasium. That's kind of the light gray shape that's ghosted in there. And we also showing the outdoor pool there. Next slide. Couple renderings of what it might look like. I took the liberty to name this building MJ Rec. I don't know, I kind of thought that was neat, but of course it could be the Kenny Martin Rec Center or whatever. No, you're gonna, and then I think that's it. That's my last slide. I don't know if anybody got any questions. We were thinking perhaps that we might have opportunities to save money if we were trying to get away from the whole thing being brick. You know, it's a city regulation. I'm sure we might entertain, but I think we're trying to do some, you know, brick patterns on the front and that side on Clemens Road. But as you go around the building, there may be a chance to save some money if we went to another material around the side. So that's all I've
Okay.
got.
Any questions for Sam? Okay.
Sam, on the pool,
Yes.
did y'all address ADA? Is it accessible ADA on the pool? And if
Yeah.
so,
You've got the zero entry coming down one side that I think they can roll the wheelchair in there. And then you have to have two, right? Have to have another means. So there's that sling where
that's what I'm asking. Do
yeah,
you
it's
have
on
that?
there. It's kind of like a little circular
Okay.
thing on the plan there.
Okay. I saw it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyone else?
The pool, and I'm not familiar with tournaments and what's required for swimming meets and all that. Are we going to be able to accommodate like swim meets that's going to draw people to our hotels? Okay, good.
It's the same thing, basically the same thing as Jimmy Floyd's got indoors. It's a 6-lane pool, 75 feet long.
But it meets all the requirements of tournament swimming
Yeah,
meets
I
on
think
IC
we'll have
Gentlemen's
to have
Reasons.
boards.
I'm going to defer to Steven if I can.
So in that context, this pool is not that kind of pool.
Will you stand up to the podium? Sorry. We just want to make sure we get everything under voice. Thank you.
My name's Steve Hall. That is not this kind of pool. This pool would be catered toward the Wilson County school meets, and that is it. You're not going to get the hotel stays. You're not going to get the big draw of tenancy from this kind of pool. It's too small. So Jimmy Floyd hosts the biggest swim meet that they have is the Wilson County Kickoff, which is all the high schools and all the middle schools that have a swim team. So not all schools have a team because it's not a function sport. That pool is overburdened to the max at that meet, and that is only Wilson County schools. Now, when you go to like the competitive swim league, so Jimmy Floyd has Middle Tennessee Swim Club. That's the competitive team that they have. We travel all over the state, sometimes to Kentucky for that league. We're going to Ensworth and we're going to NAC is the big meets, where NAC is Nashville Aquatic Center down in Centennial, which those are Olympic-sized pools with a lot more capacity in terms of seating and people. You're not going to get that from this pool. This pool will host the schools, the high school dual meets, the middle school dual meets, and they could do the county kickoff meet if they wanted to do that with however Jimmy Floyd wants to share the responsibility with that. But I'm telling you, with two schools, Jimmy Floyd is jammed packed with just parents and two schools worth of kids at the middle school level.
Okay. What about the outdoor pool? If and when that comes about, is that being sized for state?
We haven't really done too much with that at the moment. Right now, it is the same size pool, I believe, as the inside pool.
Yeah, if you go back to the very first or a couple first slides, we can see the future pool comparison slide. Well, go to the one that has the comparison of Jimmy Floyd, and we can see, because they have an Olympic-sized pool outside, and we had that originally, and it's huge. But I don't know where.
I believe Ray Justice originally proposed Olympic indoor and outdoor. Obviously, the budget's not there for the indoor. Jimmy Floyd's got the outdoor Olympic, and they could host bigger meets there if they pursue to. They don't, for whatever reason. I think they have in the past, but at the future, they do not host any outdoor meets. The kids will swim out there full course when it's long course season, but that's all that is at the moment. I think Jimmy Floyd, I think the kicker is just the pool for the community pool aspect.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
And that would be phase two, which is the outdoor, phase three, which is the outdoor pool. That could be a future board to decide on the size and all that. So that's just to show that in the future, we hope to build an outdoor pool. Any other questions?
So just going back to, and I don't know who this is going to go to, if this is going to be based off the design, when we start looking at the operation cost, and I'm just thinking about, when we start looking at the lifeguards, right? You've got those folks right there. Is that something that we're following the bare minimum requirements, or are we meeting the best practice requirements? Because I know that some of these pools, staff can be, again, they have to be exchanged, because I know, like, when we're looking at, let's just say, the pool areas, when we are, at amusement parks or, like our water parks, are we meeting the bare minimum requirements? Or are we exceeding those minimum requirements?
We're right in the middle on both of those. And I think what we're looking at is, where's our thing on it?
I'm just thinking about the operations, the operating hours, and only the staff. That seems very minimal to me. So again, I'm just asking, following the codes, rules, regulations.
Right. And just like anything else, we're tied by how many employees we have. We could go above and beyond. It's like we got right now. We're bare minimum right now, and we're pretty much going to be bare minimum there. What we got now, we're trying to stay within our means of a $14 million budget.
Okay.
And with the staffing there, I think we're looking at 5 part-time lifeguards, and we're looking at 4 full-time clerks. And that's going to run right at $300,000 a year for the staff. And with the 5 part-time lifeguards, that will put 2 on duty at all times. And we're looking at, if you'll see, I think everybody's got a copy of this, Monday through Saturday, from 8 to 12, and understand what he was saying about a lot of them are earlier. Again, that's going to be dictated by staff. If we've got staff, if we can get there at 6, if we got staff open at 6, we'll be glad to open at 6. But right now, it's all relevant to staff that we've got on hand.
Okay.
So, so that kind of covered number 5. So going back to number 4 on the cost per square footage on the gym, in the range of 220 to 250,
Right.
would you say?
I reached out to 2 of our commercial builders and gave them what we had. One I was very familiar with. That's Phoenix Builder, Steve Robinson. He told me he could build this building for anywhere from $220 per square foot to $250, which would be $8.9 million to $10.1 million. I reached out to Gary Merritt with Merritt Construction. Both of them are familiar with the city, and they built in the city. He's saying more like $300 square foot, which would hit us at $12 million. So we're looking anywhere between $8 to $12 million to build it out the way it sits now. That's not counting the pool.
Right, and the pool would be 6,000 plus square feet.
It's 6,600. What is it called? Pool 6,675 square feet at probably about 4.5 foot deep average. It's 89 by 75 feet. And what we're hearing on that is $1 million to $2 million for the pool.
Depending on if we get the little play area.
Yeah.
Play thing for the 0 entry.
And we're looking at putting probably a couple slides, just some slides, not really going $600,000 worth, probably more like $50,000 with a couple slides, just play slides to put in on this side. But the biggest thing is for 20-something years, we've been running Survey Monkey. We've been running surveys, and this has always been the number one thing that the residents have asked for. They're screaming for it. They're pounding. When we have our meetings, they pack the rooms. And it's just time that we build this. And from what we've been looking at and the amount that we put into it and what we've been doing, I'm guessing and I'm thinking this thing's going to be almost cost neutral. If we hit it right and we put in the 2 basketball courts with a good swimming pool, I think we can raise enough revenue with memberships and with usage that we can almost break even on a yearly. Because these people are wanting to be here. I mean, they're wanting it. It's like Field of Dreams. You build it, they'll come. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Yes, sir.
I know I'm scratching my head on $250 a square foot for 4 walls.
I know, and that's what I was thinking.
I
This
mean,
is not
construction
big.
costs for a high-end home are 250, 300 a square foot. And we're talking about a shell
Yeah, shell.
of a building.
Right.
So I hope we're going to put this out on RFP.
Oh, it'll be on RFB, and I think those.
Is it
numbers are-
what's driving the cost? Is it the brick around the outside of the building or
No,
what's?
I think they're just blowing it out so that we don't go over. You're just.
You think
looking
they're
at the big
overestimating?
budget. Yeah, I think they're overestimating so that they don't have to come back and ask for no more money. I'm confident it will come in well. I'm looking for a $9 to $10 million building with everything. That's my guess, but I'm like you, $300 square foot for a shell, it doesn't make sense. So, but that's the numbers we're running to you guys. That's what we've been told, and but I don't see it. I think we put RFB, we're going to see some realistic numbers come in. It's going to be well below that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, and thank you. Just out of respect of time, we got about 4 more minutes left. Sheila, did you want to bring up any of the questions? I think there was, let me see if I got the right microphone for you. Hopefully that's works for you.
Okay. I just received an email from the mayor. And under Resolution 26, 2024, reads, the gymnasium space to be used for basketball, pickleball, or other activities. Meeting rooms for corporate/public use. 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools for public use. One of these pools would exclusively be used for school aquatic activities and senior lifestyle activities. The other would be used for community public use. 10 pickleball courts and 4 tennis courts and volleyball courts to be managed by the Parks Department, along with other activities to be determined by the elected officials, the Parks Department and the Parks and Greenway Board. In addition, it reads that the cost would be capped at $11 million. I, as speaking on behalf of the mayor, voted for this based on what's in this resolution. We don't seem to be following our own resolution that was passed probably about this time last year in 2024. Where did the 14 million come from when the resolution was for 11 million?
I can answer. Okay, last year when Commissioner Justice went to Dana, our financial director, she gave him the range, which was 11.1 to 14. So he brought the resolution forward based on the 11.1. At that time, we had no idea how much this was going to cost. So things that he was proposing at the time, such as the Olympic-sized 2 pools, Olympic-sized pools and all that, were just ideas. So when we started the public town halls to get feedback and then formed the committee, we started getting some numbers. And then the committee in 3 meetings tried to get this down as close to the 11.1 as possible. So talking to Dana, she had given him a range, 11.41 to 14. That's where the 14 comes from. So obviously, we're going to have to bring the resolution back to amend it and, go from there. So, but that's where the numbers came from.
Okay. The mayor says thank you.
You're welcome.
I speak like the mayor.
Rocky?
And James, what that was, the first 11 million was for a 15-year loan. And then he came back and asked Dana, if I run it out to 20, that's when it went to 14 million.
Yeah.
It went from 15-year to a 20-year. That's the reason 14 came into play.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Yeah. So we're running out of time. How to fund it, of course, the bond, hotel, motel tax, pay back $1 million a year for up to 20 years. Operations, maintenance. And again, nothing would be proposed for this upcoming budget at all, except the bond, which we hope to get in this upcoming budget.
Yeah. I got a couple of quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, this is real quick, Commissioner, that Commissioner Mullally, why is the second page, why do we have other cities' taxes in our taxes? Are y'all insinuating that in order to get this, that the city has to raise city tax?
Where are you at? On page 2?
Second from the last page of this right here. Well, I mean, I just want to know why it's on here.
I don't know where you're talking about. What's the number?
It's this page, behind this page.
Oh, that's parks? Oh. Revenue, this is from,
That's on the Parks Department. That was, Melinda reached in just showing how, based on what they got and what they're doing, what their property taxes are compared to ours, is one of the ways they offset the payment on their stuff, like Longview and other community centers.
So you're basically saying that their taxes are higher and they've got the amenities.
they're a lot
So would the
higher.
people be willing to have a higher tax rate for the city and have these amenities?
Or
Yeah.
in 3 town hall meetings, Commissioner Jessup would do it. I did poll everyone there, and I told them in the last one, we were packed. I said, guys, the only way you can have is you're gonna start paying property tax. Are you aware? How many of y'all would pay a property, every hand place with
How many of those were in the city though? And how many of those were
all of
in
them
the
in the
county?
city? I think they were arguing like they were in the city. They're supposed to be in the city, but every hand went up. They know, the citizens know they're going to pay a property tax. It's already out there, guys. They know it, and they've told me, yes,
Okay. Before we go down that road, and I know we're over time,
Right.
but there's several ways that this can be funded.
Yeah.
Be funded from memberships. It could be funded by, could be funded by corporate sponsorships. I've already talked to one. I won't mention them by name,
Naming
but it can,
rights.
huh?
Naming rights.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking $1 million
Yeah.
potentially. So there's a lot of different ways. Before we even start talking about taxes, I think let's exhaust every effort we can. Oh,
Not saying increase.
yeah. No. I'm not suggesting you are, but before we start even talking about it,
no,
let's exhaust every effort we can to make sure that anything but raising property taxes funds the operating expenses. That's all I'm saying.
Very good.
The, so for operations and maintenance, the plan is to get that in the 26-27
yes, ma'am.
budget to start that. Targeted best case scenario opening would be sometime in 2027. Before you can open, you have to have a revenue source. So you start that a year ahead. So that's kind of the timeline that we're looking at. So I do know the contractual insurance. I checked with Dana on that. That would be $40,600 in that range to insure,
Risk or what are you
to
talking about?
to insure the
Okay, when
facility.
it's finished.
Yes,
Okay.
once it's finished.
What do we do in the city about builder's risk when something's being built?
I don't have an answer on that. I guess that would be.
Yeah,
Is that how we do it? I mean, I thought,
I would have to check this.
yeah, from the insured side, I mean, if it's half built and it gets blown away, who's going to take care of it? We've got to have some kind of coverage for that. Builder's risk is not cheap today. So that needs to be coming into these totals as well.
Yeah, and sewer, I talked to Shane in the neighborhood, if we have to have a new pump station, perhaps, worst case scenario, he said you're safe at 700,000. So maybe we wouldn't, maybe we would, but he said just keep that number in mind. Future expansions, we kind of already talked about that. It would definitely be future boards. But we're setting the foundation here and for the future is what we're doing. So I don't have any final comments. Do you? Anyone else?
No, thank you, Commissioner, for bringing us all together today. I think Commissioner Hefner has a quick one.
Yeah, just real quick, just if we're going to, I'm assuming there's going to be another workshop. If we can get no, we need to have some estimate of what the true operating costs are going to be. I mean, I see the labor costs.
Operating
And
costs should be close to what we've got coming out of Charlie Daniels with the splash pad and stuff, and it being a pretty new building. I'm thinking we're going to be somewhere around $500,000 for operating costs.
Okay.
Charlie Daniels right now is 391 is our budget.
That includes labor?
Yeah. Now, it doesn't include, personnel.
The 500,000 does not include personnel. Okay, so another
So you're
300.
looking at probably around $800,000 a year. But again, I think we could offset that with memberships and stuff. We could bring in a lot of that.
I'd like to see that broken down.
Oh, we've kind of got it broken down.
You
We
can
think
email.
we could come in easily at $1,000 a family. And we're thinking we can get, I mean, right now we got 2,000 people at $100 using just a gym. But I think we bring this with pickleball, with basketball, with volleyball, with badminton, and we've got 3 also meeting rooms in there, classrooms, if you will, that we could rent. It's going to be a little money. It can generate a lot of revenue.
Okay.
Upstairs in those 2 classrooms to have a divider wall that you could pull
Yeah.
back and have the entire space for park functions, whatever,
Exactly.
dances.
One more comment before we close, because I know we're getting really close and we do want to stay on track.
So-
Okay,
okay.
Commissioner.
So did y'all figure all the chlorine and all the
Yes,
pool
sir.
chemicals, you've got all that in there?
We're going
And
to, that'll be outsourced like we do the splash pad to another company. They will assume all liabilities and stuff on chlorine, and they've cut my cost dramatically by going to them.
Okay, and will that, and the pool will be 12 months heated?
Yes, sir, 12 months heated. It'll be a
Okay.
year-round pool.
Okay.
So, no, it'll be indoor in indoor chambers. We'll be able to, yes, sir.
But the south facing roof on the pool is facing south about a 22-degree angle or so, and that's almost optimal for stationary solar panel angle.
Yeah.
Or solar heaters.
I guess we will be so.
I had,
It's something we tried to.
it worked in Florida,
Yeah.
where I was at.
The biggest deal on an inside pool is on the Delta we have is
Okay.
the humidity level. You need a desert air system that is expensive and it costs money to keep it running 24/7.
So I would just like to extend a big thank you for everyone that's worked on this very hard, pro bono. Our committee that was formed, all the public that gave feedback. So with that, I guess we'll
We will,
close.
should we go ahead and vote tonight?
No, it's no
I was
vote.
going to say,
No
I was gonna
vote.
say, that's
No
what I
vote.
said.
Mm.
No, you, okay, that's what I thought too. I was like, wait a minute here. Why were we going to vote?
No
yet?
votes.
Okay, all
No.
right. So with that, any other comments before we close out? That's great. Thank you, staff, for being here and also the different committees tonight. And we'll reconvene at 6:15.